Well, the U.S. national debt just crossed $38 trillion. That's not an abstract number. It's how much tomorrow's choices are already spent today. We've carried big debts before, but never this fast. According to the Treasury's own clock, total federal debt stood at $37.98 trillion as of mid-October 2025, and the Congressional Budget Office now projects that debt held by the public, the real economic measure, would reach around 124% of GDP by 2034 under current law. That means we'd owe more relative to the size of our economy than at any time since the end of World War II. Each percentage point rise in interest rates adds tens to hundreds of billions per year to federal interest costs over time. Money that can't go to schools or infrastructure or local services. Eventually, you feel it. In mortgages, in business credit, in state and local budgets. During Trump's first term, the gross national debt rose from about $19.9 trillion to $27.7 trillion, an increase of roughly $7.8 trillion. That included pandemic relief and bipartisan spending, but the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget estimates his policies added about $8.4 trillion in new 10-year borrowing with interests. Now, in 2025, Congress and the White House have enacted the One Big Beautiful for Billionaires bill. According to the CBO, it will add roughly $3.4 trillion to the deficit over the next decade, pushing the debt-to-GDP ratio toward that 124% mark by 2034. Supporters say it stimulates growth. Critics say it borrows against the future. The Constitution puts borrowing power squarely in Congress's hands. Article 1, Section 8 authorizes Congress to borrow money on the credit of the United States. And the 14th Amendment affirms that the validity of the public debt shall not be questioned. Debt is a promise we don't break lightly. Alexander Hamilton called a national debt a blessing if it is not excessive. Thomas Jefferson warned that each generation should pay its own bills within its time. Together, they hint at a balance. Use credit wisely, but don't make it permanent. And history backs them up. Hamilton's 1790 Funding Act used debt to unite the new nation, but paired it with a plan to retire it over time. And after World War II, we brought debt down through growth and discipline, not panic. And when Andrew Jackson erased the debt in 1835, the nation soon after hit the panic of 1837. A crash driven by several forces, not just federal debt policy. And the lesson isn't no debt. It's honest debt, with a path to pay it back. So ask your representatives 2 questions. What's your plan to stabilize the debt ratio? And what will you cut or pay for to get there? No slogans, no gimmicks, just math, priorities, and honesty. I did a full-length video on my Patreon that is not paywalled. I believe it's called The Debt We Owe. If you go to the link here on screen, or just look for the same Walkabouts with Dan in Patreon, so patreon.com/walkaboutswithdan, and find The Debt We Owe. I talk about, I believe it's 5, I think with a bonus 6th option that we have to get out of this crazy amount of debt that we currently have. All right.